Elise Gordon, Board President of Sea Glass Theater Company, here to introduce the next in our continuing Spotlight series of featured artists. Today's artist is soprano Alyssa Click. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up and what your experience was with music, how it all started.
Yeah, so I grew up in Arizona, believe it or not, born and raised. I was there until I was 22 years old before I moved out to Boston. But so I actually started doing a summer camp in like 2001, 2002. So I've been performing for like a hot minute. But originally it was, so I grew up in like Tempe, Phoenix area, Central Phoenix, Central Arizona. And then I had grandparents who lived up in Northern Arizona, up in the mountains. So my parents would like ship me off up there so that I could get away from the summer heat and so that they could get a break, because theater kids tend to be a lot to handle, especially coming from a family that had no musicians in it. None. I was the very first one, which is very exciting. And so I ended up going to this drama camp with my grandparents and really loving it. And I have this vivid memory of being like 9 in a production of Oliver, and the director looking at me and going, "Stop smiling, you're supposed to be an orphan." And I was just so happy to be there. And from there, my family found out that I have a very strong love of music and all things Broadway. And so my mom started taking me to shows in Arizona at the Gamage Theater, which was it was like our special time together where we would get dressed up. We would go to lunch. We would go to the matinee every Saturday. Oh, I saw so many touring productions. And then it turned into my love of show choir, which I did in middle school and did a lot of that, had so much fun, which is where I started dancing and found that love. And then it turned into joining my choir in high school, which is when I remember the very first day of choir, we had like a little sing-in with our conductor, which was basically just like, "Hi, what part do you sing?" And I just remember him looking at me after my very first day. It was my first day of high school. He looked at me and went, "I'm going to email your mom." And I went, what did I do wrong? I thought I was just singing the national anthem, but okay. Turns out he emailed my mom about how he thought that I should pursue voice lessons, and because he saw something special. And I am so, so grateful that he did, because I met my voice teacher, Andrea Pittman, who is now a professor at ASU. And she really started inspiring my love of classical music, because typical soprano brain, I hear a high note and I'm like, I'm going to do it. So
the stars in a hazy heaven tremble above you while he's whispering, "Darling, I love you." You say goodbye, away you fly, but on your lips you'll keep a kiss. All your life you'll dream of this lovely, lovely night. And I knew
gosh, I remember junior year of high school, we did this big, so choir is super big in Arizona. And so I was in this, I think there were like 92 of us in this ensemble choir. It was huge, absolutely huge. And we were doing the Rhetoric Requiem. So we would do a masterwork every spring. And like the coolest thing is we would go to California with it and like go to Disneyland because that's what high schoolers want to do. But while we were in California, we performed the whole thing with a professional orchestra.
Wow.
And I was 17 years old. I will never forget getting up. I had the solo. I got up there. It was the Pie Jesu in the Rhetoric Requiem. Stood up, sang it with the orchestra for our dress rehearsal. Conductor stops because it wasn't my conductor, it was the orchestra's conductor. And he looked at me and went, "How old are you?" And I just remember saying 17. Whole orchestra goes, "What?" And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but I took it as a great thing. It really helped the ego boost that I didn't need. But so then I went on, did that. And then we did the same concert with a different orchestra in Phoenix. And afterwards, all of the people came and said, "Congratulations to the soloists." There were a bunch of like donors and things shaking my hand. And I just remember this one guy came up to me and he said, "Hi, I think he said he was a Vietnam veteran. And I lost my wife last year, but we always used to come to your guys' shows. And I wanted to come because I miss her. And she just loved seeing the joy on everyone's faces." And then he said, "I've lost all of my hearing, but seeing the story that you are telling and seeing how much joy is on your face when you're singing." And I just remember that was the moment that I decided that I wanted to tell stories and be a musician for the rest of my life. And it's also really affected because I'm a teacher too. I teach middle schoolers and I teach them voice lessons and music and having fun. And that has very much inspired me as a teacher too, the past few years. And just kind of knowing that I can share the joy with them and inspire them that way, even if they don't go on to pursue music, that's fine. But there should always be, like, my personal opinion is music is supposed to have an emotional connection and supposed to bring you joy after you perform it. Like, even if it's like Siegfried, I'm like, but there's something about that when you can see everyone on stage doing something so intricate and just coming together as a team, and just like there wouldn't be music if there wasn't joy in it.
Yeah.
And so that is my intro to music in a very long-winded answer.
Give those kids and me the brand new century and watch what happens. It's David and Goliath, do or die, the fight is on, and I can't watch what happens. But all I know is nothing happens if you just give in. It can't be any worse than how it's been, and it just so happens that we just might win. So whatever happens, let's begin.
What got you to Boston? What was the draw there?
Grad school, actually. So I came out here, I went to the Boston Conservatory. Fun fact, it was actually the very first school I had auditioned for. It was the first school I heard back from. And I remember being here and feeling the friendship of everyone at the school and how close everyone was. It was a really tight-knit community. I knew that I wanted to go to a bigger name school because I had gone to a state school for university. And I wanted to go to a bigger school for grad school to start making these connections and really start performing professionally. And I just saw how much everyone liked each other at BOCO. And that really spoke to me. And I ended up meeting some of my best friends here. And
Wonderful.
I've been here for like 5 years now, which is great.
Wonderful. I just love the transition that people make from wherever they grow up to that Boston music community, because it really is a special
It really
thing.
is.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do when you're just relaxing in your downtime, Alyssa?
Lately, it's been a lot of reading. I'm a huge bookworm. I just read my 12th book of 2021. I'm on a spree.
Wow.
I'm a huge reader. I also have found a new love of Downton Abbey, which I don't know how I had never seen before. So lots of Downton Abbey, a little bit of yoga, playing with my cats, who are also my personal demons, but like whatever.
Sounds like a pandemic plan.
It really is. Lots of inside stuff, especially with the cold weather right now.
Yeah. So what was your most memorable to date? What's your most memorable performance?
My darling Jim, today was gorgeous outside, temperature in the 40s, not real cold, all the snow melted, except right in front, where the sun never hits. The girls talk to your picture every day, and at night, in the praise, they say, please keep our daddy safe. Please keep our daddy safe. My darling Jim, today was gorgeous outside. Not real cold. All the snow melted, except right in front, where the sun never hits.
This is always a question. I have so many good memories of performances. I think one of my better memories is at Boston Conservatory, we did a production of Die lustigen Weiber von Windsor, Merry Wives of Windsor by Otto Nicolai. And it was so much fun to just tell that story and be silly with my friends and just like there was this one scene where my scene partner was, his name's Dylan. I love him. And so we were like the love couple. We were Fenton and Anna, and we're downstage. And we're like, oh, happy lovey-dovey song. And then Svelich and Cayuse are behind us, creeping behind, like literally, oh my gosh, it was Craig Jerica. He's like 6'4" with this little like 4-foot tall fake tree that he would pick up and move around. It was just ridiculous. And then, oh my gosh, my friend Corey was behind a bench. You could see him the whole time. It was hilarious. And he would just like pop up. It was, oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite shows that I've ever done.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Silly fun.
I got to dress up like a princess, and I had a tiara. It was great.
Yeah. Nothing better than a tiara. It's very important.
Truly.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Will he know that there's a world of love waiting to warm him? How I'm hoping that his eyes and ears won't misinform him. Will he like me? I don't know. All I know is that I'm tempted not to go. It's insanity for me to worry so. I'll try not to. Will he like me? He's just got to. Will he like me? Will he like me?
Your most memorable, it's sort of the same thing to your weirdest gig.
Weirdest gig. You know, I don't know about weirdest gig, but I just remember, so I got in a car accident the night before opening of the show. I was doing Kiss Me Kate, had a concussion, did the whole show in a 20-pound costume. And I remember same night, my zipper broke on my skirt as I was running off stage at the end of Act 1. We only had a 10-minute intermission. And like, luckily, like my bodice had all of these like super long, like pedally things, super cute. And so if I didn't have a skirt, it wasn't like I was walking on stage without pants on. It was fine. But I just remember running to costumes, going, hi, it broke. We have 10 minutes. And we get called to places, still no skirt. We get lights are down in the house. The music is lights have just gone down. As the music's starting, I see costumes run around the corner going, unzip the bodice. So they unzipped my bodice, put my skirt on. I was the first one on stage in the staging too. They zipped my bodice as I was walking on stage.
Oh,
that was one of the more wild live theater things I have currently experienced.
Funny.
Everyone had my back, and it was really nice.
Fun. It's too bad you don't you just don't enjoy what you do at all. That's really, I feel so sorry for you.
Not even a little bit. I know.
Oh, I love it. So do you have a favorite artist that's outside of your performing world? What do you listen to when you're not listening to your stuff?
Everyone laughs at me. But so when I'm not listening to myself, I actually do listen to Broadway show tunes for fun. I'm doing something called Broadway 2 a Day right now, which is someone on TikTok founded it. And we're listening to 2 Broadway musicals every single day for all of 2021. Every single show that was produced between 1950 and 2020. Every single show. There's over 750 of them. There's some that like don't have cast recordings and stuff. I'm also like very behind. But so I actually do listen to them for fun. I think we're up to the 1960s right now, which is super fun. I have found a lot of Broadway shows that I didn't know, and I really like some of them. But outside of that, one of my favorite artists to listen to, which is what everyone laughs at me for, is Kesha. I just love her so much. She's so good.
Love it. What's not
It's
to
very
like?
sassy.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's sassy. There's glitter. Let's do it.
Yep. Love it. I love it. Now, tell me a little bit more about your whole involvement and your success with social media and media management.
So
when I read,
I've been doing it a long time. I started handling social media for my high school choir, my senior year of high school back in 2012. And I never stopped. So I would like handle that. I made all the Facebook events. I kind of like learned as I went to college, ended up doing it for my college choir at NAU, and really started boosting that. And then I got to grad school. I got my grad assistantship, my second year of grad school, running Boko Opera, their social media, and had so much fun with that. And at the same time, I had just applied to Modern Singer magazine, which was just transitioning out of being Sexy Soprano, which was like a blog. And now it's more of a magazine. It's like our motto is like for artists by artists, and really trying to help singers just kind of figure out the business. And I had just applied. 6 months in, my now best friend Ellen says, "Hey, do you want to run the social media, like be the head of social media?" And I went, okay. So I have been the head of social media there since 2017, which is really cool. And it's really helped like open a lot of doors. It's helped me network in a way that I never knew would be so beneficial. And just like, it helps me get to know people behind the screens and not just like the artists that I would interact with on a daily basis. I get to talk to maestros and directors and managers. I've gotten to do some temp stuff with like Arizona Opera, a couple of management places. And I've really just gotten to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't typically meet just as a performer, which has been a lot of fun. And I get to just help people be creative and share their art with the world.
It's like the perfect complementary career, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's really nice. I really, really like it.
Wonderful.
Astonishing, astonishing. I'll find my way. I'll find it far away. I'll find it in the unexpected and unknown. I'll find my life in my own way today. Here I
Now, I want to hear about your dream role in your dream venue,
Okay.
and just dare to do it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. There's so many. There's so many. But my all-time favorite role that I've ever done, that I probably ever will do, is Susanna from Le Notte di Figaro. I have done that role twice. She means so much to me. She was also my very first full role, you know, just something small and easy. On stage for 400 out of the 450 pages, whatever. But so she's just, it's very cliche, and she's just my favorite character that I've ever played. So, oh gosh, venue. Honestly, at this point, I just want to perform in a full house
Oh,
with a live orchestra so bad.
yeah.
Our art form is meant to be live. It's meant to be, you experience it and you move on and you do another one. And now it's all of these recordings, and we're all upset that they're not perfect, but live performance isn't perfect. Live performance has never been perfect and never will be perfect for humans. That's how it works. And I'm very excited to return to the impermanence of live theater.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird when I say it out loud, but I'm excited to not have to record myself for every single show that I do. I'm excited to work with people again. Like, I remember for Bewitched with Sea Glass was the first time I had worked with people since last March. And like, my show had gotten shut down the day after we finished staging. I was so upset. Like, literally the day we were supposed to move into the theater. And I saw Emily Harmon, who was my Mrs. Lovett to my Joanna, and she was singing Sweeney, and I was sitting there in the church that we were recording Bewitched in, just crying casually, because I was so excited to just hear people sing live again.
Yeah.
Like, that weren't my roommates, but and getting to perform with people again, just, we took it for granted, I think. And I'm very excited to get back to it. I'm very excited to get back to it.